So we're going to move on to the last item to establish a schedule for our commission to go back in person. I think Nathan is going to go over this.
Yes. Here we go. I do a little very brief slide deck. All right. Thank you, Chair Gokin, members of the commission. Again, Nathan Schmidt. This item is in regards to, yes, establishing a schedule for return to in-person meetings. So the recommended action is we do need a vote. So we request that the Traffic and Mobility Commission approve a date and time for return to in-person meetings. Just a brief discussion. So City Council has discussed and they have decided that they will be returning to in-person meetings starting on July 13th at that meeting. With although their workshops would continue virtually until the end of September, until their September 30th, 2021 meeting. In response to this direction from City Council, the City Clerk has requested that all boards and commissions agendize a discussion to consider when they would be returning to in-person meetings. As far as our schedule for Traffic and Mobility Commission, we could actually return as soon as our next meeting on August 2nd, or as late as our October meeting. So once we decide on a date, we will also need to discuss what time. So right now we have, of course, our meeting at 3 p.m. Traditionally, when we are in the chambers, we met at 5 p.m., but we do have flexibility on that start time as well. So we would like to get the commission's feedback on that. So with that, that's the item, and the recommended action is to approve a date and time for return to in-person meetings.
Okay. So who wants to go back as soon as next month? Okay, I see one hand. I'm just floating some conversation. So I see 1, 2. I would like to go back. 3. Okay. So that's an idea. And then we'll go to discussion. What about time-wise? 3 p.m. could be a little early for some, but we can have that discussion if they have jobs. 5 p.m. could be a little late, since lately we'll be having long agendas and long meetings. So we don't want to be there until 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I was playing around with the 4 p.m. to be in the middle. Now let's open it for discussion. Who wants to talk on this item? I see one hand, 2. Okay. And I even see Ellie. Ellie, do you want to go first? Do you have something to tell us?
I don't have a hand up. No.
I'm going to go with Commissioner Pensier was first to raise his hand.
Okay.
Your turn.
We had changed the September meeting because of Labor Day. And now if we went back in August, would we conflict with the city council meeting that month? In other words, if we went back then, would we have to either cancel the September meeting or change it again, or what are our options there?
Commissioner Pensier, that I can answer. When we schedule the Zoom and we change the meeting for September to be the same Tuesday as the council, is because the city council does not meet that day. So we could still.
Okay. All right, that's good. Okay. So
we could still be doing our regular meeting at the council chambers.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be a special meeting, but at the council chambers.
Okay, what time would you prefer, Commissioner Pensier?
I guess I really like the 3 o'clock time, but then I'm retired. It doesn't matter to me. But on the other hand, then some of the people that want to come in and talk to us from the public might not be able to get there in time. I don't know whether we can have public input at the end of the meeting instead of before the meeting to accommodate them. But I guess that should be part of our discussion on whether we are going to shut some people out if we have it too early. So I guess that's
Right.
just more or less a question for us to consider.
Right. So for you right now, it doesn't matter the time, right? You can make any time.
Anytime.
Okay. We're gonna go to Commissioner Linky. He had his hand up.
Yeah, so for me, like Commissioner Pensiers, it doesn't matter. I'm retired or chronically unemployed, one thing or the other. I can do 3, 4, or 5, or even later, but I kind of like Commissioner Pensiers' suggestion about having public input at a time when people can actually provide the input. So if it's possible to have it at the end, we will start at 4, but have public input at 5:30 or something. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me. I also kind of like the Zoom meetings because I can sit with all my notes and my computer screens, but I know I'm going to have to give that up. So I'm ready to go back anytime, but I'm willing to continue Zoom until the last possible minute as well.
Okay, so you're open to on the time, Vice Chair Perez?
Yeah, time-wise, if we start at 3, I think for anyone that has kids in school to get them out, that might be a little bit. So, 4, I don't have a problem with 3. 4 o'clock might be a good start time if we could do that, depending on that. But yeah, I think for me, I would like to go back to City Hall or the council chambers and be there just as long as we have protocols and things like that for it to be safe and whatever we need to do to follow up. So
right, we'll have that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. At 4 o'clock, I think it's a reasonable, not too early, but it's not too late. And if we need to accommodate, we could do comments maybe in the beginning and the end if someone comes later. We can discuss this. We can discuss with legal and with the city, and we talk to see if that works. Commissioner Fowler, are you possibly coming back next month?
Possibly. I did submit the application, but
Okay.
and all that, but who knows?
And what time would work for you?
So I've never liked the 3 o'clock. It ruins my whole afternoon, So I'd love for it to be at 5, but 4 is probably better. And as soon as possible, we ought to just get over this. But I'll go with anything.
Right. Perfect. And Commissioner Hunter, you're gonna miss us coming back.
Yeah, and I can't watch you on Zoom anymore either. So it's
Actually, you can.
I know.
They're
Well,
actually
it's not
gonna
Zoom,
record
but,
it. Not the Zoom, but I'm guessing it's live online. Yes, Commissioner Fowler.
So there's no legal way to have a hybrid meeting. I mean, in almost every other circumstance, I think Zoom is not going away for all the other things now I do that once we met, and but now we meet with Zoom. I suppose there are legal reasons we can't do that, and maybe even practical reasons. But I'll just observe that idea of working from remote, it just seems so compelling, except that the public can't see you physically. I guess that's a downside. But that's just an observation, I guess.
Yeah, Commissioner, we're just following the governor's order. This ability to meet via teleconference expires on the 30th. We have no indication right now about any kind of hybrid system. So what the best we can do is, as Chair Gokin mentioned before, we can, have these meetings available on the city's website. So I'm staying in touch with the city clerk's office to just make sure how that's going to be accessible to the public, because I know that Commissioner Linky's mentioned before about recording. That's something that's been of interest to him. So I think the most we're going to be able to do right now is have the public be able to go at a later time. I'm not sure if it can be live streamed, but I'll be reporting back when I know more on that. So the city clerk is looking into that right now with the company that does the, the filming of the meetings.
Okay. And that's the good news. The good news is that it will be recorded or at least filmed. I don't know if public will be able to see it after, but during they will be able to see us, which I believe we didn't have that before. So with that said, it sounds like 4 p.m. as soon as possible, meaning next month. Anyone, it's popular. Anyone wants to make a motion to propose that?
I'll make a motion that you guys start as soon as possible, which is next month, and that the starting time will be at 1600.
I'll second.
Perfect. Perfect. Commissioner Hunter made his last motion. So we can start next month at 4 p.m. and Commissioner Fowler seconded. Can we go for a vote?
Commissioner Wanamaker is absent. Commissioner Linky,
Aye.
Commissioner Fowler,
Aye.
Commissioner Pensiers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hunter,
Aye.
Commissioner Linky. Did I get Commissioner Linky?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I
Okay,
vote.
Vice Chair Perez
Yay.
and Chair Goken.
Yes. Please note it passed 6-1 with one being absent.